complicated and ridiculous, and sometimes, very rarely, impossible things just happen, and we call those things miracles. This quote was said by the main character from the show Doctor Who. Today I'm going to talk about the Doctor. He is a very interesting being, and there is much more to him than meets the eye. I have watched the latest 9 seasons of him on Netflix, so I am qualified to talk about him. The 3 main things that I want to inform you about today are who the Doctor is, what kind of time traveling that he does, and the Doctor's real nature. So, who is the Doctor? He describes himself as a madman with a police box. He has a time machine, which is called the TARDIS, and that's short for time and relative dimension in space. And in the TARDIS, he can travel to any point in time. That means he can go anywhere in the past, future, or present, to any galaxy and planet. The only thing that he cannot do is alter any big events in history, because if he does so, the time continuum will collapse and people will die. The madman comes from him always doing crazy things, like fighting off a whole planet of Daleks, and Daleks are like evil robots that try to destroy humanity but fail. He is also a Time Lord, and a Time Lord is a person with 2 hearts. And when he dies, he starts regenerating, and regenerating is completely healing himself and turning himself into a new person. So new appearance and new personality, as it shows here. He is also the last of his kind because of the war on his old planet Gallifrey. And that is his old planet right there. It was destroyed in the war against the Daleks. Now that I talked about who the Doctor is, I want to talk about the time traveling that he does. Time traveling, he travels in the TARDIS, as I've said before, and a TARDIS is a humongous spaceship right there that is compressed into a tiny little police box. And a quote from the Doctor about the TARDIS is, "It's a lot bigger on the inside." It could originally transform into anything, but he broke that setting, and now it's just a phone box forever. He can go, as I said before, he can go into any point in time that he wishes to, and he does this to help people in need. In his time travels, he usually has a companion with him, as there are right here. He meets a lot of people on his travels, and he offers them a chance to see the universe, and they usually accept. He does this because he is alone, and he's really lonely in space, so he wants people next to him. But he is a Time Lord, which means he can outlive anyone, and he doesn't really want to get attached to people because he will eventually see them pass away. The Doctor travels through the universe to explore. He is a person who likes learning, but in many of his expeditions, things go wrong, and he is left to save people's lives and to save himself. Now that I've told you about time traveling, I want to talk about the Doctor's true nature, the nature that people don't really know him for. His real name. Only a few people know his real name, and because he never reveals it to anyone. When people ask for his name, he just calls himself the Doctor because of previous experiences that he's had. Or he makes up a fake name like John Smith and some other ones. The only person that does know his name is River Song, and she knows it from very complicated situations that I don't want to say because it will ruin the show. He said in one of his time traveling expeditions that my name died with me on my old planet Gallifrey. The Doctor seems always happy, like in the previous slides, but he is actually rather sad and lonely, as it shows right there. The Doctor is over 1,500 years old, so everyone he's ever knew has passed away, and he is the last of his kind, left alone to wander the universe with no purpose, really. But that's why he brings companions along, but even with the companions, he has to let them go eventually. And the Doctor's feared in many of the galaxies because the Doctor has many enemies, for instance, the Daleks and the Cybermen, and he fights them in order to save people's lives. And in the War of Gallifrey, he destroyed a legion of Daleks, and through this he was known as the Oncoming Storm because wherever he goes, he brings death with him. The Doctor proclaimed himself as the defender of humanity. Since his old home was destroyed, he made himself a new home on Earth. And because of this, Earth is safe from other alien invasions because they fear him. I hope everyone today has learned a little bit about the Doctor and would maybe start watching this show because it's very interesting and very popular right now. The Doctor is an interesting being and there's much more to him than meets the eye. Today I have talked about who the Doctor is, the time traveling that he does, and his true nature. And I would like to leave you guys with another quote from the Doctor which states, "Letting you get to you. You know what that's called? Being alive. Best thing there is. Being alive right now is all that counts." And that's from the Doctor Season 6 episode